Good evening, race fans, and welcome out to the North Wilkesboro Speedway for round number 1 for the American Sim Racing Club's late model stock tour. It is the inaugural season for the series, 12 races in distance, and it kicks off here right in Wilkes County, North Carolina, right here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We are proud to bring you tonight's racing. Right now, qualifying underway. 100 laps of action coming at you, and the crews only have one extra set of tires to use here tonight in the pit area. But where are my manners? It is none other than Upstate Al here tonight, bringing you tonight's racing action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we love you for tuning on in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for the race car drivers. Over 35 drivers signing in here tonight to do battle in night number 1 of this inaugural season for the American Sim Racing Club. A little bit under the weather, sorry about that, folks, but we were going to power through here as qualifying just about a minute left to go, and the fastest man in practice, well, he sits fastest on top of the scoring pylon, and that is none other than Zach Nichols. A lot of new names, a lot of new faces, along with some familiar old faces here at the American Sim Racing Club, and we are all looking forward to bringing you tonight's racing action. I know Tanner up in the control booth, he is looking forward to what this season could bring, as it is already starting out with a very healthy car count. Like I said, 39, almost 40 drivers signing in here tonight for race number 1. I want to thank everybody for tuning on in, and Andrew Harding's good to have you here. He says he better be in front and center of the whole broadcast. Well, sir, hopefully you're not watching while driving. I think that's frowned upon. You might get a ticket by Tanner, but here we go. The starting lineup for tonight's feature event. 100 laps in action, and it looks like this here tonight. On tonight's pole will be Zach Nichols in the No Chance Motorsports car number 44. He set a fast time of 18.599. Then it's the Rootin' Tootin' Hooters car of the 71 of Brett Hahn. Starting in the third position out of Huntley, Illinois, is the number 2 car. This is Brian Hacker, and outside of him, it is Greg O'Berry. Tim Rogers in car number 48 will roll off 5th, and outside of him, his dancing partner out of Newfoundland will be Devin McDonald. Starting on the inside of row number 4 is car number 14. This is Zach Heiser, and outside of him, Stephen Hoffman in car number 86. Rolling off in the 9th position will be car number 12. This is James Moore, and to his outside looks like his teammate. It'll be Daniel Foss in car number 83. Rolling off in row number 6 will be Franklin Evans in the 61, and outside of him it'll be the number 31 or 13 on the race car. This is Zach Coyer. Zach Coyer ran with this group one series ago. Rolling off 13th will be Brian Wildassin, and outside of him, the number 9 of John Kane. Charles Darling and Sam Swope will roll off in row number 8. Row number 9 is going to see Aaron Thompson and Mason Culver in car number 20. Number 60 of Justin Moore will roll off 19th, and it is the number 45 of Andrew Harding rolling off on the outside of row number 10. David Payton in car number 38 will roll off 21st, and outside of him, the number 25, this is Nick Fleury. Kyle Munson and Doug Higbee will make up row number 12. The field starts to pull away. Aaron Knapp will start 25th, and outside of Knapp will be Deontay Hewer in car number 00. Mark Welch in the 57 roll off 27th, and outside of him will be Justin Callahan in car number 75. It looks like the 45 of Hardings rolls back towards the back of the pack. David Inkenbauer in car number 37 will roll off in spot 29th. The slate to go 30th will be the 59 of Nathan Henry. Scott Austin in car number 5 will roll off 31st, and J.D. Stockwell in car number 47 will roll off 32nd. 33rd starter will be Braden Cook, John DeMeester 34th. Chance Manning will roll off in spot 35. Tanner Tallarico will not be starting 36, folks. Unfortunately, he is up in the control tower, but Jonathan Platt, Ron Fox, Christopher Smith, and Nicholas Olone will make up our starting field. 39 cars strong as the field rolls down here into turns 3 and 4 as we get ready to go with our first race of this series. And it is a good one. 39 cars strong as we look down from high above from our blimp camera, circling around the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And it is going to be anybody's race. Tires were give up. They were talking about how they have 2 and 3 lines of action around this racetrack. And we are about to go green here for 100 laps. One green, white, checkered attempt if they need it. Caution laps do not count. But the green flag about to come out and the field is underway. And we are underway here with feature number 1 of race 1 for the ASRC Late Model Stock Touring Series. Nichols jumps out to the early race lead in that number 24 and the 44 on the scoring system. We will get the custom numbers from the drivers so they will start to match up with the cars you're seeing on the race track. Right now, Nichols in that 24 showing the race over the number 2 of Brian Hacker. Hahn slides into spot number 3 after lap number 2, and already some great action a little bit deeper here in the pack. They are all jammed up and jelly tight. Up the racetrack, that's the 00 of Hewer. He was up the racetrack, able to stay away from it. Everybody's clean and green so far as they work off of turn number 4. Still 2x2 back here. Oh, contact! One car in the outside wall. I believe that's the 57 of Welch, and he is up and over in Hewer. And yellow flag number 1 comes out here on lap number 4, and heavy left rear damage to that 57. I think he might be able to get back underway as he is down mowing the grass. Let's take a look back here and see what happened to Welch and Hewer. Come off the corner, and Welch just comes up, and Hewer's on the outside of him, and they just make contact. And Welch almost up and over. Go on board, and you can see right from Hewer. Nice underview of Welch's car, and well, everybody will live to see another day, as I believe Deontay Hewer is down on pit road trying to get some damage repaired. But up front, it is Ben Nichols in that number 24 car as your race leader. The number 2 Brian Hacker started 3rd, and they do have lane choice on all starts after the initial start. Initial start is where you qualify, is where you need to start. But the lights go out on the pace truck. So we look out the backside of the iRacing Silverado. Everybody that started this race still out on to the racetrack. On board with second place is we see the race leader Nichols jump on the gas pedal. Oh, we got trouble off the corner. Big trouble out back. Big parking lot. And this one's going to come to us slow in a hurry as someone got into someone. We are going to find out, but it looks like when the green flag dropped, Looks like maybe started with the 20 of Mason Culver. Let's take a look back here and see if it starts with him or maybe a little bit further. Yeah, it looks like Culver got into the back side of the 50 car and then just a chain reaction on the inside car. Culver in that snap-on number 20. The 48 also involved. I believe that is Higbee. And hit hard contact to the front of that Chevrolet. The 49 of Braden Cook involved. And some other cars just coming to a stop to avoid damage there, but yellow flag flying for the second time on that restart. So the pace truck back out onto the racetrack. The field's going to catch back up, and 4 laps are completed here tonight out of 100. So if someone could bring me some popcorn, it would be good. But the field working around the racetrack, and it is Zach Nichols, your race leader, as they start to double up as we look like we are going to go back. Green flag race and reel in short time. Here they come off of turn number 4 and they're into the restart zone. We're back underway. Side-by-side battle down the backstretch between the 81 of O'Barry. He's trying to make a look on the inside of Brian Hacker. Hacker with the momentum off of turn number 4. He will hold on to that number 2 spot, but he is being pressured by that number 81 as they work up the backstretch. One car in the outside wall. Here comes Tim Rogers in that 48 automobile. He's working underneath the 14 of Heiser. Heiser right there behind them, trying to figure out which lane to go with the 18 of McDonald on the outside. Hoffman in that black unsponsored number 86. Greg O'Barry still putting some pressure as we go on board with a driver out of Virginia. Brett Hahn works right there in spot number 4. McDonald runs in 5th. Some good action back here, though. Here comes the 37 and the 8 of Munson. Around one car goes. Hang on to it. That's Andrew Knapp. And he is going to go up and over, and we've got a turtle situation down in turns 1 and 2 for Knapp, and he is going to have to call the tow trucks here. So a tough break for Knapp, but let's see if we can take a look here and see what happened to Knapp. Comes down the front stretch, gets it into the corner, and it looks like the car gets up into the outside car. Just they came running for the same real estate, and that was the 75. We will get a name for you with the 75 and the 024 of Knapp make contact. And around will go Knapp and up the racetrack in the 48, just nowhere to go. Andrew Hardings went around as well. Doug Higbee, nowhere to go. Let's go on board with Higbee. You can see the action starting up there in front of him, and the car just comes up the racetrack, and just ever so slight contact there. But Higbee, some front end damage Have to wonder if it's going to hurt some of the cooling parts of that race car. Here in night number 1, not how you want to get your night started. With the field double back up, Zach Nichols in the 44 has controlled the race field into the restart zone, and then we are back underway. Nichols will clear Hacker for the front row. Now the side-by-side battle off of turn number 2 and up the backstretch between Brett Hahn and the 81 of O'Berry. And here comes McDonald. McDonald ran in the ASRC Scrambler Series, was a weekly competitor here, and now runs in spot number 5 in that Hopkins-sponsored number 18. As he works underneath Brett Hahn for the 4th position. Right behind them, though, that is the 14 of Kaiser. Zach Kaiser works underneath the 48 of Rogers. That's a battle with inside the top 10 as they work in the turn number 3. They come down the front stretch. Everybody getting single file, one car. That's the 17 right there behind Rogers. That is actually Frank Evans in that 17 automobile. Zach Coyer pressuring Hoffman for the 9th position. We've got them side by side a little bit back here. The 39 of Aaron Thompson. He works around the 83 automobile. Now the 951 of Odassin working his way up. That's Brian Odassin in the 951. ASRC regular viewers will know that as yellow flag will come back out once again. And we've got a parking lot down here in turns 1 and 2. The 45 involved of Hardings. JD Stockwell actually in that 47, but 45 on the race car. We'll get the numbers all straightened out for you, though, folks. As Hardings is really in the 45, but yellow flag coming out here, and we'll get a quick look to see what brought out this yellow flag. Pardon me. Racing getting very, very intense here. They're starting to get some wear on the tires. The fuel is starting to burn down on the race cars. So it's going to start making a little bit of difference. But here's a look at it as John Kane in the number 9 works into the corner. Oh, just gets tagged there by the 47. And around they go. Scott Austin involved and everybody else jumping on the binders as well. Let's see what Scott Austin saw. Some hard contact there for the driver of the Austin design, number 5. We'll see if he's able to continue here. Plenty of cars on pit road right now. Andrew Knapp in at 24. The 48 still on pit road. David Payton there as the green flag comes back out, and we are back underway. Nichols jumps out to the race lead once again as the control car, but the battle for second's going to race it up that backstretch with Brian Hacker working the outside of O'Berry. O'Berry and McDonald make contact. The C's will part, and they thought about going 3 wide for a moment. They thought better of it. Down here in the turn 1 and 2, they will come up the backstretch once again. One car sideways. That was Hoffman in the 86. Here comes Coyer to his outside. 2 grooves of racing here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway's cloud cover. starts to come in. The track's going to change a little bit, grab a little bit more grip. And we watch the battle between the 17 of Evans and the 48 of Rogers. Right there in front of him is Greg O'Barry, and he's going to try to get past Brian Hacker, and he will do so. Hacker will relegate back to the third spot, but behind them, the battle rages on between Brett Hahn and how about this driver? One of the biggest movers of the race so far is that 17 of Franklin Evans, at least inside the top 10 currently. Oh, Heiser clipped the grass. Hang on to it. Zach Heiser going through the spin cycle on the backstretch. And a tough break for the driver of the 14. We saw him clip that grass there. And around he will go lose a lot of track positions. Here, let's take a look at Zach Heiser as he works down here in the turns 1 underneath the 18. Just gets down the grass, upsets that car just a little bit, and around he goes. Rogers nowhere to go. And the Heiser locks it down to avoid contact with anybody else, but yellow flag coming out here for the 5th time here tonight. Just shy of the quarter distance. So far, none of your front runners coming down pit road. Your race leader is Zach Nichols in that 24. As we look out the back side at the Area 52 design sponsored number 81 of Greg O'Barry. It looks like the number 20 of Culver gonna get the free pass, and he'll get back onto the race lead lap. So the 20 of Mason Culver, who currently sits in that 32nd position, will get a lap back, if not more. I'm not sure if that puts him back on the lead lap or not. Wait for timing and scoring to filter back around. But a good pass O'Barry put on the 2 of Brian Hacker for the number 2 spot, and has his eye set on the 24. Here with 22 laps going to be complete when we go back green flag racing. If you're tuning in here tonight, we appreciate you watching tonight's ASRC Late Model Stock Touring Series, inaugural season for the late model stocks here with the American Sim Racing Club. They will run for the next 12 weeks into the later stages of October. You can catch every race right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, get notified whenever we have a broadcast team going live. And right here, specifically for the American Sim Racing Club, they race exclusively right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we are proud to bring you all of their races, whether it's on the dirt on Sunday nights, their Tuesday night series, along with tonight. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. That's not for me. The thumbs up's for the drivers. They'll come back, they'll watch this broadcast, and they'll see those thumbs up, and that makes them know that you guys appreciate their efforts here tonight and what they do week in and week out. So make sure you hit that thumbs up. Here's a green flag about to come back underway as the pace truck will go to the safe haven, and Nichols ready to go on the gas pedal first over the number 81 of O'Barry. Here comes Brett the Jet. He works to the outside, but we are quickly slowed once again as trouble for Jonathan Platt and Sam Swope. Here is they have trouble. Here is Swope up against the outside retaining wall, and he is going to back down the racetrack. Well, started to and thought better of it, letting the field kind of cycle past. And as he sits there, let's take a look and find out what happened on this restart. See Swope on the outside lane. Oh, looks like Sutton maybe gone right in the rear end of that 50 or missed the missed a shift or something. Let's see if we can go on board and listen. It would not go into gear. You heard something break there, and Platt just nowhere to go. Let's go on board with Platt. And just nothing you can do. You expect that car to go in front of you, and when it hits the hooks like Swope's car did, nothing you can do but hang on and pray for not a lot of damage. So looks like both cars able to continue on. Jonathan Plope runs in, or Platt runs in that 28th position currently. And Swope able to tag onto the backside of the field as well. So we should be able to go back green flag racing. It is still Zach Nichols up at the front of the field. It looks like the number 20 of Mason Culver now will get back on the lead lap. And that'll leave 30 cars on the lead lap. Pace car about to get back into the safe haven of pit road, and as Nichols and O'Berry on the front row, green flag is back up, and we are back underway. Brett Hahn right to the back outside as they will drag race up the backstretch into turn number 3. Give the edge to Hahn for the time being. Brian Hacker down low. Here comes Evans underneath the 48 of Rogers. That's for the 5th position. Nathan Henry has gone around, and now a big stack up back here. And we are underneath the yellow flag for the 7th time. There's something happening to the 59 of Nathan Henry, who sits backwards on the front stretch, and he'll take the tow. Let's take a look and see. He sees Jonathan Platt to the outside down the backstretch here in our replay. Down into the corner. Oh, him and Platt get together and hook to the outside in hard contact. And the track just really clogs up here. Let's go on board and look out the left side here. Or out the back. You can see the contact there with Platt, and that just hooks him up the racetrack. And you know that outside wall is coming hard. Oh, Lord, that was a hard hit. And then the 50 involved, the 00 of Hewer up and over into the outside retaining wall. The 9 of Kane in there comes to a stop. The 20 not having anywhere to go. And the yellow flag will come out here for the 8th time. Or 7th time, excuse me. Zach Nichols still your race leader. So Nichols leads it. O'Berry in the 81 is second. 3rd spot belongs to Brett Hahn. Brian Hacker runs 4th. Franklin Evans in the 17 is 5th. 6th running spot is Tim Rogers in that 48. Stephen Hoffman in the 86 runs 9. Then it'll be Zach Coyer on the outside of him in the 8th spot. 9th spot belongs to James Moore in that number 12. And Chuck Darling rounding out your top 10. Darling up 6 spots here as the field will continue to shuffle on. We'll look through there to 9:15 of Brian Wildassin, 1 spot outside of a top 10. As the field comes here into the corner, it'll be Zach Nichols showing the way. See where your favorite driver is on our ticker. Green flag is up and we are back underway. A good restart down here into the corner. Franklin Evans takes a look to the inside. Can't quite do anything with Hacker down the backstretch. Here comes the 48 of Rogers to the outside. Zach Coyer works the outside of Moore, trying to work that outside to get that momentum. Can he do anything with it? They are still stacked up 2 by 2 from 5th spot on back, and the yellow flag will fly once again. Now it's for the 8th time. Scott Austin and the number 5 involved. Let's see what happened to the Austin Designs number 5 to bring out the 8th yellow flag here just past the first quarter of this race. He works with a 14 of Heiser. Oh, it looked like a stack up in front of him, and I believe that was the number 5 automobile right behind Austin. Let's take a look here out the back side. A painter's wart on the back side of this. As I believe that might have been Chance Manning that was involved with that. It was here as they worked down through the corner. 5 plus 5 does not equal 10, and Scott Austin will go around on the short end of that stick here. Yeah, it looks like Manning being directed to the back side of the field. Field doubling up here once again. And it'll be Zach Nichols in control of the field once here. Set fast time. Putting lap 27 into our record books. We're going to start lap 28 as the green flag comes out, and we are back underway. Brett Hahn and Brian Hacker will trade some paint off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Everybody doing a good job as we go high above to get a good look at the action all the way through this field. A little bit deeper. Charles Darling working the outside of the 12 of Moore. Moore tried to take a look to the inside of Zach Coyer. Had to hit the hooks there. A little bit of contact though. Wildassin will loosen up Moore as he works down to the inside. Move the 951 into that 11th spot, trying to crack the top 10. Here comes the 39 of Aaron Thompson as some movers and shakers starting to go there as they work around this racetrack. Good battle still as Brett Hahn is stuck down to the inside. Here comes Evans to the outside in that 17 car. They are 3 wide down the backstretch as Aaron Thompson got a little bit loose. Everybody doing an evasive move now, and they're trying to work around the 39, and they are doing it in tidy fashion. Up front, though, O'Barry starting to apply the pressure. The driver out of Lynchburg, Virginia, running in spot number 2, chasing down the number 24 of Nichols, who has led it since the green flag has come out. Good battle back here for Tim Rogers in that 48, Zach Coyer. Coyer working to the bottom side of that racetrack. Moore right there as well in spot number 9. And Charles Darling trying to figure out which lane to go with. The 012 of Moore working down here. Is Coyer and Rogers now will give way to that spot as Rogers up the racetrack. Here comes Moore. Started in that 9th spot, has worked his way back to 9th and looking for a little bit more. But how about the biggest mover of the race, up 14 positions? That is the 43 of Jonathan Platt. And Platt has seen his share of excitement here tonight. As he works underneath the 49 of Braden Cook, but up front it is still Zach Nichols, who's opened up a little, about a car length advantage over O'Barry. Brian Hacker runs in 3rd. Brett Hahn 4th, and now Stephen Hoffman in that 5th spot. 6th spot is Franklin Evans. Zach Coyer runs 7th. Tim Rogers under attack from the 012 of James Moore, 8th and 9th right there on your screen. Charles Darling rounding out your top 10. Here they come through turns 1 and 2, and it is going to be Darling up the racetrack. Here comes Brian Wildassin. He's on the outside looking in of that top 10, trying to get there. That's the battle for 10th on your race screen. Is right there behind him is the number 83. That is Daniel Foss. Started in that 10th position. Currently runs in 12th as this has been the longest green flag stretch. So we're going to start seeing some handling characteristics. Who's saved a little bit of tires so far. Who heated them up early. Right there behind the 13. A wily old veteran here at ASRC. The 25 of Nick Fleury. Fleury currently sits in 13th. Justin Moore 14th as we close in on the halfway point. Justin Callahan works underneath the 37 of Daniel Achenbauer. Achenbauer in at 37 works that second to upper lane. Can't quite do anything with it. He will give that spot away to the 75 of Justin Callahan. And now finds himself underneath attack from J.D. Stockwell in car number 45. Stockwell works down to the inside. Can't quite do anything with him there. So great battles all the way through this field. This is the battle for the 19th position. Is Jonathan Platt trying to make his way up through the field. But up front, it is still Nichols. And they got some lap traffic right there in front of them. As Nichols now starting to back up a little bit. Maybe a strategy play on the 24. Save those tires just to push the car just hard enough to save a little bit of those tires here as we close in on that halfway starting lap 48, 47 into the books. So we are closing in quickly on the halfway point. Took a little bit for these drivers to get into a rhythm, But the racing here, not disappointing. As you can see, the multiple battles here. You got the battle for your race lead into turn number 1. Nichols and O'Berry. Right there as they work up to the backside. That is Doug Higbee. Higbee runs in that 30th position. So 30 cars still on the lead lap currently. As now Higbee will go down 1 lap to the rears. So that leaves 29 cars. Last car on the lead lap will be John DeMeester in car number 2, and he currently is about a corner in front of your race leaders. Is that battle really shaping up? Nichols, O'Berry, your top 2. Brian Hacker runs in that 3rd spot. 1 car up the racetrack a little bit. I believe that was Higbee. But look at this battle of cars right here. This is for the 7th position. Coyer got around Rogers. Rogers tried to cross him back over. Here comes Moore. He's bringing a slew of field rate with him. A little bit deeper in this battle, you got Aaron Thompson in the 39. Kyle Munson in the 8, starting to make his way forward. Started back in the 23rd position. Finds himself currently in that 15th spot. And they try to find a way around the 83 of Foss. Foss working there right in front of him. Up the racetrack, here comes Thompson. He'll dive it down low. He will complete the pass. And the 14 of Zach Kaiser trying to get inside the top 15. Remember, he went for the slide for life a little bit earlier. Currently finds himself in the 17th position. The 08 of Moore gets underneath the 83 of Foss, so that's for the 13th position. As meanwhile, they are up a little bit in front of them, side-by-side battles. Rogers to the outside, Darling as well, as they work around the outside of the 12 of Moore. Wildassin going to try to fill the inside, and you got Nick Fleury there as well. As Nichols starts to open up your race lead. Almost a half second now over O'Berry, and they've got a second back over to Rogers. This is going to get tight. The lap traffic of Higbee up on the outside. He is doing what he can to stay out of the way. And then he's got some fierce battles coming up to him, and some drivers have to give way as they are still 2 by 2. Nick Fleury to the inside of Wildassin. Nick Fleury trying to get into the top 10. He sits 11th. Is now Chuck Darling going to go down to the inside. Darling trying to make his way around Rogers. He sits in the 10th position. As this is great stuff here as they work into the turns. Great battles here. Anybody can make a move here. 2 different lines. Fleury's going to switch lanes, trying to block off the advances of Wildassin. Meanwhile, Coyer trying to just jet away from him. Trying to close in on the drivers in front of him. But this pack here about 3 seconds back from 6th place runner Frank Evans. Old Aston takes a look to the inside underneath Flurry. Can he do anything with him? Nichols, still your race leader, is now gapped O'Berry by 1 second. Brian Hacker runs in third. His yellow flag will fly, and now we're going to see some strategy come into play. As your front runners is Scott Austin, and I believe that is J.D. Stockwell have come to a stop. Andrew Harding's as well involved. Let's see what happened here to bring out this yellow flag. You see him working down the backstretch. This is Andrew Harding's in the 45 car, and he just gets touched from the backside. Around he will go and up the racetrack. And Stockwell and Austin come to a stop to avoid making heavy contact. But now we're going to come back live because pit stops are happening, and your race leader stayed out. Everyone else coming down pit road. What will we see? Right side tires going on the 81 and the number 2, the 48 of Rogers as well. With 35 laps to go, looks like a 4-tire stop for some of your front runners, but Nichols electing to stay out, and he's got some friends that did so with him. The strategy calls here. How much better will fresh tires be? We're about to find out. As the field will come off of pit road. Remember, the laps do not count during our yellow flag, so you cannot lose a lap in the pits, but you can lose a little bit of track position. So we'll have to see where everybody will shake out after these pit stops. But I can tell you that it is Zach Nichols out on the front. He's got Kyle Munson, who stayed out onto the racetrack with him. Chance Manning in the number 5, also staying out. Braden Cook in the 48. Charles Darling staying out as well. And the first car that came down pit road off of pit road, that will be the number 2 of Brian Hacker, and it looks like he will line up. I believe that's going to be either the 7th or the 8th starting spot once the field gets straightened out here. So we're about to see how good fresh tires are versus 65 lap old tires. The question will be, will they get a long enough green flag run for it to matter? Zach Nichols, your race leader. Kyle Munson on the outside, elected to stay out for some track position. As the field rolls through turns 3 and 4, the pace truck down on the way. Green flag is up. And we are back underway with the North Wilkesboro 100, the inaugural race for the late model stock touring series here. Munson runs in second. Chance Manning side-by-side battle here with Chuck Darling and the 49 of Braden Cook. Brett Hahn will work underneath the number 2 of Brian Hacker. These are the cars that have tires. They're right behind them, behind the 49 and the 88, and we will see if they are able to do anything with these drivers. Zach Nichols said, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm going to get on the gas pedal as fast as I can, and I'm going to try to check out. Gave up a 1 second lead, and the yellow flag came out for that last incident. And now we got some players up front. Chance Manning started 35th on tonight's field, playing the strategy. He currently runs in that 5th spot. A little bit of wall tag here. They were almost 3 wide for a moment. Here comes Heiser. Zach Heiser back to the 7th spot. Remember, he was running inside the top 5 when he got into the grass. Got that car upset and spun. Nice rebound by the 14 here with just 31 laps to go. 86 as Stephen Hoffman runs in spot number 8 as the 49 of Cook starts to fade back there. You can see the car starting to wash out there. Good battle for second as Manning works to the inside of Munson. Those cars are a little bit of tail happy. Here comes the 88 of Darling. Darling to the inside, but the yellow flag will fly as Mason Culver and the number 20 car is involved once again. Let's take a look here and see. Underneath Thompson. Oh, looks like a little bit of netcode there. They were 3 wide for a moment. Oh, Zach Coyer involved, and around he will go, and Mason Culver will take the tow to pit lane as we come back to live pictures here on the front stretch. So a tough break for Coyer, who is running inside of the top 10 before this pit stop. But Zach Nichols has led it since the green flag has dropped. Looks like Chance Manning did come down pit road, so I was mistaken on that. But I tell you, he's doing a good job. Is the race leader. He set fast time on tonight. Zach Nichols in that number 24 has led every lap so far. But he's got some stout cars behind him who have taken their time to get up through the field, with Manning being one of them. Charles Darling as well, up 14 spots. Little bit of housekeeping. It looks like Christopher Smith and Nick Olane did not able to make tonight's start, so we're going to be given credit for 38th and 39th. Deontay Hewer has taken a 0-0 behind the wall. Devin McDonald as well, and Nathan Henry is behind the wall as well. Officially out of tonight's race. Some other cars that have been on pit road for a while is Ron Fox. I believe David Eichenbauer is also behind the pit wall. So a tough start to the race, but race number 1, a long season to go. We hope to see them back here next week here for the ASRC Scrambler Series. Or not Scrambler Series, that was last season. Oh, trouble behind them as Brett Hahn goes around. And we've got, that is the definition of a parking lot, folks. Every car there, and I believe our leaders are going to have to come to a stop as they get posted back around. We'll see what happened. We went back green flag racing. It started with Brett Hahn, so let's take a look here at this restart. Oh, the 80 of the Darling got into the backside of Manning and around to the go. Hacker with some contact. Heiser around the outside. And everybody else. So a tough break there. As yellow flag comes out, we'll let the field get straightened back out. But next week, July 26th, we will head to the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Virtually still live. We missed the racetrack in the real world, but Myrtle Beach is where the series will head, just a little bit to the north from where we are right now. So the driver's going to be in the North Carolina area for the week. They'll find some shops to work on their race cars, give them a wash, maybe get some repairs done. Look at the right front of Brian Hacker's number 2. Some damage there. Going to wonder how that's going to do. Left side not looking much better either. Zach Heiser in that number 14 runs in spot number 3 currently. Stephen Hoffman 4th. Greg O'Berry is in 5th. Those cars were clean looking until about 2 yellows ago. James Moore runs in the 6th spot. Franklin Evans 7th. Braden Cook is 8th. Nick Fleury 9th. And Brian Wildassin will round out your top 10. A little bit deeper in the field, but here we look back at the front of this one. Zach Nichols shows the way as the field doubles up. We're ready to go back green flag racing. Here at the North Wilkesboro 100, the inaugural race for the late model stock touring series presented by American Sim Racing Club, and we are back underway. The 86 of Hoffman works the outside of Heiser. They'll make a little bit of contact. Heiser right back down to the inside, 2 by 2. They work through the corners. More contact behind them. Everybody is getting close to the pay window, starting to open it up. The later stage of the races, and they know it is time to go. Heiser takes a peek to the inside underneath Brian Hacker. He'll clip the grass. Here comes Hoffman underneath them. They're sideways off a turn number 4. Everybody able to keep it going with 26 laps to go. It is Ben Nichols out front. Heiser now to the inside with Brian Hacker. And last lap, the fastest lap of the race. Well, it belongs to your race leader to 18.51 last time by. So the race leader is able to hold up some tires there. We got cars up in the racetrack, one up and over. Hard contact down here. Munson's involved. And we have trouble once again down here in turn number 1. One of the fastest spots on this racetrack. As Daniel Foss is involved. Let's take a look here and see what happened. Brett Hahn right behind them, gets down to the corner, and it starts in front of them. As I believe that was J.D. Stockwell in the Flow Racing 45. I am mistaken. I believe that might be the 47. Scoring and timing of the numbers are all discombobulated. I believe that might have been Andrew Harding's in that Flow Racing, and it was. Let's go on board. He's down in the corner, around he will go. Oh, Oh, hard hits right there. So a tough break as those cars are on the pit road. I want to thank Annette for tuning on in. Thank you, Annette. Rooting on the 86 of Stephen Hoffman, who currently sits in spot number 4. Been up front all race long. If you're tuning on in, tell us where you're tuning on in from. We like to do a little bit of interaction with our fans. As you can see, a packed house here at North Wilkesboro. I can tell you that one of the drivers said they saw Abe Lincoln in the grandstands. I don't believe it. Zach Nichols, Brian Hacker, the front row. Then it is Zach Kaiser and the 86 of Stephen Hoffman in row number 2. The field getting ready to go back green flag racing with 24 laps remaining. As the green flag comes back out, Nichols jumps on the gas pedal. He'll jump out to an early read. Hacker easily down to the inside trying to block advances from the 14 of Heiser, who is in a tussle with the 14 of Heiser. Hoffman on the outside. He'll get that momentum on the outside. Here comes the 17 of Evans. Oh, Evans, hard contact. Big wreck on the front stretch. Everybody's going to pile in. And this one's going to really upset the field once more. And a tough break for the 81 of Greg O'Berry, one of the faster cars all night long, and he has got some heavy front end and rear damage to that 81. You can see the toe all knocked out of the front of it. Let's see if we can take a look here and see what happened. That's not quite where we wanted to be. We'll let the truck find it, but that was some hard hits. Let's see here as they work down in the turn number 3. This is the battle. Franklin Evans on the outside. Oh, just got loose, and when he did, came down into the 81 of O'Berry. Moore's going to get involved. Nick Fleury somehow will get through it as Greg O'Berry slides backwards on the front stretch, and Scott Austin involves Zach Coyer. The 43 of Platt involved Odassin in the 951. And you can see the rest of the cars just piling in here. Thompson in the 39. Some cars just coming to a stop with just nowhere left to go. So Zach Nichols is your race leader. Thank you, Cody. He is the owner of Sequential Sim Sport. We thank you for tuning on in here, watching from the great state of Wisconsin. And we got Stephen Nichols watching from Stockbridge, Michigan. So thank you guys for tuning on in. Hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast. So I love to interact with anyone that's out there racing, or not racing, or watching, or both. If you're texting and driving, I'm not quite sure that's the best way about going about things, but to each their own. Zach Nichols is your race leader. Brian Hacker runs in second. Zach Heiser is third. Stephen Hoffman is fourth. As the green flag coming back out. Single file restart. And Heiser quickly jumping to the outside of Brian Hacker. Oh, they make contact off of turn number 2. Hacker a little bit loose. He'll slide up in front of Hoffman, trying to hold on to that third and final podium position here with 22 laps to go. Jonathan Platt still out there in that 43, able to continue on. Same with Oldassin with the butt kicker sponsored 951. Good battle here. Stephen Hoffman trying to work around the 2 of Hacker. And you got to wonder if the 2 has a little bit of front end damage after being involved there, as your race leader still goes quicker. Fast lap of the race last time by with an 18.46. First driver down into the 4s here tonight. And last time by, you can see still in the 4s. So the 44 Nichols saving some tire here with 20 laps to go. Trying to hold on to as one car spins down to the into the pits. That was Heiser. So Hoffman now going to be in there. Zach Heiser was running in spot number 2. Not sure what happened. Let's take a look back here. It was running low and just comes to the pits. Not sure if an issue to the 14 or not. That puts Brian Hacker in the spot number 2. Steve Hoffman is in 3rd. Nick Fleury biding his time. Didn't have the greatest qualifying effort here tonight with 39 cars. Started back in spot number 22. But has slowly brought the 25 to the front of the field, and that car looks clean. And that could spell trouble here. The wily veteran of the ASRC trying to come in and mix it up with some of the new fresh faces here for the late model stock touring series. Hoffman right to the back bumpers. We go on board looking out the front. Heiser back out onto the racetrack, but he's going to lose laps. Oh, trouble is we're on board. Hoffman got into the backside of Hacker. And around he will go. Brian Hacker as well went around. And that might have just been one of those instances where Hoffman was able to roll the corner a little bit better than the 2 of Hacker with the front end damage on that number 2. Let's take a look here. Not quite back far enough. Here we go down the backstretch in the turns 3 and 4. Hacker runs the outside, and yeah, you can see the 86 just got through the corner a little bit better and into the left rear. The 25 of Fleury gets a little bit of damage and a tough break. As Hacker tries to get the number 2 pointed back into the right direction. Nichols still your race leader. Heiser will get waved around the pace cars. The lights are out. 14 circuits remain. Kenneth, good to see you. Glad to have you here with us on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And you are right. The 24 of Nichols, very fast here tonight. He's got a fast car behind him, though. The 25 of Nick Fleury will Roy start here in spot number 2. As the pace car down and away, and we are back underway as here they come roaring back to life. Nichols, your race leader. Fleury runs in second. James Moore in spot number 3 now with that 012. A very sharp-looking race car. Platt in the 4th, and Brian Wildassin runs 5th. One spot outside of a top 5 is Brett the Jet Hahn in that Tudors Hooters number 71. Zach Coyer runs 7th. The 48 of Tim Rogers is 8th. Chance Manning and Scott Austin runs in 10th, and here comes Chuck Darling back through the field. He's in the 1 spot outside of the top 10. Darling took a peek to the inside, can't quite do anything with him, as Nichols has already opened up a 1.3 second lead, as Darling will get by for that 10th position. The 57 of Mark Welch runs in 12th. 13th spot is Justin Moore in the 08, a very sharp-looking race car. Sam Swope runs in 14th. 15th is Kyle Munson. Remember, he was involved in the wreck here, and the yellow flag will fly. Oh, Nick Fleury's gone around. Nick Fleury involved here to bring out the next yellow flag here, the 15th of the evening. And what happened to Fleury? Moore right there to the back side of him. Platt as well down in the corner. Platt gets to the back bumper. Oh, maybe gave a shot to Moore, and Moore could not load up in time. And around in the spin cycle will go to 25 of Nick Fleury. And that'll bring out the yellow flag with 10 laps to go. Is Fleury going to have to start at the backside of the cars on the lead lap, which I believe is currently sitting at 22. So he'll be back there in that 20th to 22nd range. As Zach Nichols is your race leader. And I believe the lights will go out top of the pace car with 10 laps to go. It is Nichols, Moore, and Platt, your top 3, as the pace truck will fly away into the infield, hopefully to stay there. Green flag is back up. 10 laps remain for Nichols as he leads the field down in the corner, already opening up to a half-second gap with control of this field. Moore runs in spot number 2. Third spot is Jonathan Platt in that 43 car. Brian Wildassin runs 4th. Brett Hahn is 5th. Single file through the top 5. Zach Coyer runs in spot number 6. Chance Manning is in 7th. Tim Rogers, Charles Darling, and now Scott Austin runs in 10th. Battle shaping up for the 11th spot is now Welch under attack from Justin Moore. Moore now sees Swopes peek to the outside. He'll slam the door on that number 50. Munson trying to find a way back through as well with 7 laps to go. J.D. Stockwell runs there in spot 15. 16th is Higbee. John DeMeester and Brian Hacker 17th and 18th. 19th, Steve Hoffman. Andrew Harding still out there in the Flow Racing number 45. There's a battle for your third spot. Chase up Wildassin underneath Platt. He's going to bring Brett Hahn with him. A good battle. That's wheel to wheel down the front stretch into turn number 1 with 5 circuits remaining here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Brett Hahn underneath Platt now, trying to make a move into that 4th spot, and he will clear him. So Hahn now 1 spot out of a podium finish, and he is trying to chase down Brian Wildassin in that butt kicker 951, who's chasing James Moore. James Moore running, I believe that is the Sequential Sim Sport Area 52 sponsored ride. As the yellow flag will fly as Tim Rogers involved with Charles Darling. Let's take a look here and see what happened. See Manning right there in front of him in the number 5. Here comes Darling to the outside of Rogers. Oh, it's like we've seen many times here tonight. They get hooked on that right rear in both cars hard into the outside retaining wall. And that is going to hurt their efforts here tonight. Let's go on board with Charles Darling. You see him working to the outside of Rogers down the backstretch into turn number 3. And they just get hooked in hard contact to the outside retaining wall. We'll put us underneath our yellow flag. Oh boy, a 3-lap shootout. Heiser going to get a lap back. And that'll put him down 1 lap in spot number 23. Currently is Tim Rogers, I believe, is behind the pit wall in that Jack Daniels number 48. After that wreck, so that'll move everybody up 1 spot. Pace car down and away, and the 44 Nichols really ready to go, leaving no one a chance to even hang with them. Nichols, Moore, Wildassin, your top 3. Here comes Brett Hahn applying pressure. You take Nichols out of it. This is a great battle. Right here is Wildassin. Take a look to the inside. It'll be Moore with the door. Here comes the 71 of Brett Hahn. Hahn underneath the 951. He clips the grass. Has to get on the hooks. Still 2x2 off the corner, but Wildassin will have it as the white flag has flown. Final trip down off of turn number 2 for the 44 of Nichols. The 24, hot all night, set fast time, will lead every lap as the checkered flag is up. It'll be Zach Nichols picking up the win. Moore will come home second. Wildassin third. Fourth will go to Hahn, and unofficially rounding out your top 5 will be Jonathan Platt. In spot number 5, we'll do the complete field rundown after our post-race show, but it'll be the 24 of Zach Nichols picking up the win here tonight, and he will park it down here on the front stretch. James Moore going the pit road. We'll catch up with him hopefully as your race winner burns it down here on the front stretch. That is one happy driver. Came in, set fast time in practice, set fast time in qualifying, and now finds himself in victory lane. We will take and get a word with Mr. Nichols as we start to assemble our post-race show. Is the field down here as we watch the drivers of all right. Well, I think we're going to come down here to the front stretch as the 24 is still burning it down, but we will start our post-race show, and that is with the winner of the number 24, Zach Nichols, picking up the win, and not even a sweat on your brow, sir. Come in, set fast time in practice. You're going to come in, set fast time in qualifying, and then you lead every lap. How'd you get it done here tonight in this 24 car? A lot of restarts to get through, a lot of competition here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I have tons of laps around this place on here, and I'll be honest, I didn't think that we were going to get the pole there, but we somehow managed to just squeak it out. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. The restarts were pretty hectic there in the beginning of the half, but towards the end when we started going single file, the single file aspect gave us pretty good buffer going into turn one, so we were able to hold them off and seal the deal.
Able to seal that deal and to come in an inaugural season, the first season with the American Sim Racing Club running the late model stock, and you're going to etch your name as the first driver to be the winner of the said series. What's that mean to you, you know, coming into the American Sim Racing Club's inaugural season for the late model stock? This car, a lot of fun to drive, not only here at North Wilkesboro, but all season long. You got 11 more races to go. Just what's the outlook for the rest of the season? And you etch your name in the history.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really drive these cars often, but it was a ton of fun today, so I'm looking forward to doing more of it. But I feel like this was probably one of my favorite tracks to go to on the schedule. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, you came in, like I said, you set fast time. We got the lead every lap. Can't be much of a better night than that. But Zach, next week we head to Myrtle Beach. Another tough little racetrack there. I personally have not tested a car there in quite some time, but last time I knew there was a couple grooves of racing like we had here tonight. What can we expect out of Myrtle Beach in 1 week's time?
That's one of the tracks I'm not looking forward to, but hopefully we can do just as good as we did today. So I'm not looking forward to it, but am looking forward to it at the exact same time.
I can understand there, and you had some friends out in the YouTube world, so make sure you give them a shout out later on here when you rewatch this broadcast, hopefully. But before we let you go, we'll roll out the red carpet. Who makes it all possible for this 24 car to be here in Victory Lane talking to us?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a great job. It's always a pleasure to go back and watch them. But I'd like to thank all the league admins for putting this whole deal on. It was a ton of fun today, and my dad's probably watching. He's probably the ones in the YouTube chat talking, and my Uncle Kenny's probably watching as well. So I'd like to shout them out.
Well, congratulations, Zach, and we hopefully will be talking to you at Myrtle Beach. We'll look to see what kind of speed you have there and see if you're just playing a little bit of cat and mouse with the rest of the competition, saying it's not one of your favorite tracks. But congratulations on the win here at North Wilkesboro. We'll let you get over to that elevator and get into Victory Lane here off the front stretch. Congratulations on your win here tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. That is your race winner, the number 24 of Zach Nichols. And coming up in the runner-up spot, well, his car, well, you can tell his race was an eventful one. The 0-12 of James Moore, and I think eventful is probably saying it nicely, but you're going to come home with a runner-up position probably at some stages of tonight's race that you didn't think that was possible.
No, to say the least, man. What a night. Just a crazy race overall. A lot of fun out there. Some really good hard racing. First things first, I want to say that incident with the 25, I had like 5 to go. Man, I haven't looked at a replay. I don't know what way that's going to go. But it was a good night for my Sequential Sim Sport Ford Mustang. Want to shout out Sequential Sim Sport as a whole, Area 52 Designs, and the band Hollow Valley. One of our team members is in the band. They're trying to get onto a festival this weekend or this year, and trying to garner all the support they can. Check out Hollow Valley on all the socials and Sequential Sim Sport.
Well, you got your sponsors all in. Let's talk about this race real quick. Up and down night. You started back in position number 9. You got to the front there, and then a couple jingles there, and you got sent back to the back, and then the pit road. Like you said, not sure how the last incident's gonna play out or whatnot, but the racing very intense. A very large field of cars here for the inaugural season for the ASRC. What's the outlook for the rest of the season? Next week we head to Myrtle Beach.
Dude, my teammates and I have been working so hard trying to find a league that we felt like we could come out and do really well in. My team didn't get the results tonight that they deserved. I got caught up in a lot of other people's stuff. We're here to fight. We're here to win, and I think you're going to see Sequential Sim Sport up front at a lot of these races. We're all really excited to be here.
Well, I'm sure that not only from our point of view, we love the paint schemes. The cars are really sharp. You cannot miss them on the racetrack. They look absolutely beautiful. But you and your teammates coming out here and supporting the ASRC, along with everyone else that was in the field here tonight. It was such a great showing for an inaugural season. Inaugural race for them, and probably a few more yellows than you guys would like to have seen, but we saw the tire strategy really come into play. I know the tires fall off on these race cars, and you got to really manage your race car throughout the night, along with the damage model that they also have on these cars. And next week we head to Myrtle Beach, and that should be a good time there as well. How do you think you'll fare at Myrtle Beach?
Man, I haven't ran Myrtle Beach in a long time, but I've got my teammates are all really fast, and they're going to teach me how to get around that place, and I'm just going to chill out, survive, and try to make it to the end just like I did tonight. Maybe luck into another podium.
Well, congratulations on that second place finish. You've already said your sponsors, but if you want to say them again, we'll let you do that. If not, we'll hopefully talk to you maybe one spot better next week at Myrtle Beach.
That's the hope. Once again, you mentioned the spiffy-looking cars, Area 52 Designs. Check them out. That's our team owner. Makes all of our paint schemes. Look for some other really cool ones we're going to have the rest of this year. Hollow Valley, awesome metal band headed up by Chance Manning, who was in the race tonight. Check them out on all the socials. Phenomenal guy, phenomenal stuff. And Sequential Sim Sport as a whole, man, we're always looking to grow as a team. If you are interested, check us out on socials. We love fostering a good environment with good people to have a great time.
Well, congratulations, James. We hope to be talking to you a little bit more this season on. Congratulations here tonight on the opening night, second place finish.
Thank you.
Here you go, second place for James Moore, and that will move us to our third place finisher, and that's the driver of the 951 of Brian Wildassin. And Brian, an overall good night. You kept the car pretty clean throughout the night. And you're going to come home with a third place finish here. Talk us through your race. It was one that started you back in 13th, about 100 laps ago. How'd you make it up here to third place?
Yeah, I really spent most of the night around 10th or battling for the top 10. And, man, the racing around mid-pack was really tough and clean. I know we had a ton of cautions come out, but I felt like that most of them for the first 3 quarters of the race were all behind us, maybe for 20th on back or so. So the front half of the field was some excellent racing all night.
It definitely was. We saw a lot of 2 and sometimes 3 wide battles. And you this butt kicker 951 was moving towards the front all night long. How much of it was, obviously, like you said, you missed some of the wrecks, but they were a little bit behind you. You had some great battles with Brett Hahn, James Moore, Jonathan Platt, some of these new faces that are coming into the ASRC. You were a wily old veteran of ASRC. So first night out, I know you guys have been running some recruitment races, but still trying to learn each other's tendencies. How difficult is that on a track that is technical but also very fast?
Yeah, it's a lot of strangers out here, and it is a very technical track, and one that you can definitely capitalize on others' mistakes. And with all these new faces, you're bound to run into a couple incidents here and there. But towards the end, we had a lot of familiar faces up front, and I knew I had Brett DeJet on my tail, and he was hounding me pretty hard. So it was about all I could do there the last couple laps to hold him off.
Well, you're going to come home with that third place finish. Next week, we head to the virtual Myrtle Beach Speedway. And it's sad that is no longer with us in the real world. But, hey, it lives on here in iRacing. And how do you think you'll fare coming into Myrtle Beach in 1 week's time?
I feel pretty good about Myrtle Beach. It's a great racetrack as well. You can definitely make some passes at Myrtle Beach, and pretty wide lanes and good fun racetrack.
Well, congratulations on that third place finish. We'll let you roll the red carpet out and let you thank those that make it all possible for this podium finish. I know you have probably a few people to thank.
Yeah, I got to thank you up on the booth. I know it was kind of a marathon run up there tonight, and thank you admins for dealing with everything tonight, and I think everything ran pretty smooth considering.
Well, congratulations, Brian. We hope to be talking to you a little bit more this season here with the Late Model Stock Touring Series. We look forward to seeing you at Myrtle Beach. Until then, buddy, let's keep it wheels down, and we hope to see you on the racetrack very soon.
Thanks, Al.
There you go. That'll do it for our post-race show. Here, brought to you by the American Sim Racing Club, and we have talked to our top three. Only one thing left to do, and that is to do our full field rundown for tonight's feature event, the 100-lap event that we just saw with Zach Nichols picking up the win in car number 24. James Moore will come home second, Brian Wildass in third, Brett the Jet fourth, and Jonathan Platt coming home in spot number 5. Remember, this is all unofficial. Chance Manning will come home 6th, Zach Coyer 7th, Scott Austin 8th, Mark Welch and Justin Moore 10th. Sam Swope 11th, Kyle Munson 12th, JD Stockwell 13th, Brian Hacker and Stephen Hoffman rounding out your top 15. 16th finisher will go to John DeMeester, Doug Higbee 17th, Andrew Hardings 18th, Nick Fleury and John Kane rounding out your 19th and 20th spots. Charles Darling 21st, Zach Heiser 22nd, Tim Rogers, Aaron Thompson, and Braden Cook. David Payton in car number 38 will come home in spot 26. 27th to Andrew Knapp. Franklin Evans will come home 28th. And the remainder of your field, we'll see Justin Callahan and Greg O'Berry 29th and 30th. Daniel Foss 31st. Mason Culver in 32nd. David Ankenbauer in 37th. Ron Fox, Nathan Henry, Devin McDonald, and Deontay Hewer. And the man with the thankless job, Tanner Tallarico, up in the race control. 37 cars here, or 39 cars here tonight. And some of these drivers, Christopher Smith and Nicholas Olone, unable to take to the grid here tonight. But next week, the series heads to Myrtle Beach Speedway. Zach Nichols will lead the points into the Myrtle Beach. Who will conquer the tricky D-shaped oval in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as we head a little bit south here from North Wilkesboro. But until then, we hope to see you in turn number 3. As always, it's been a pleasure bringing tonight's action. My name is Upstate Al, and it has been a pleasure to bring you all of tonight's racing action right here for the inaugural season for the American Sim Racing Club's Late Model Stock Touring Series. Good night, everybody.